Hey guys, Pastor Chad here. I hope you're doing well. Hey, over the last several weeks, we've as a church have tried to post some daily words of encouragement. Different devotionals. I've been fortunate, blessed to have some great men in our church come alongside me and help in the midst of this. Some of our missionaries have sent us some devotionals as well to help encourage us, help strengthen us in the midst of these difficult times. Hey, today I want us to take a little break from that, a pause. We're going to do something a little bit different. See, one of the things I've learned in my own life, that if I'm not careful, I can begin to just focus all of my attention on myself, even in difficult times. Now, I don't want to dilute, I don't want to try and belittle the challenges that we're going through, because I know that there are many of us that are struggling, that are facing things. I mean, our church as a whole is facing difficulties and struggles. That's the season I think that we all find ourselves in. But rather than focus in on us today, I want us to focus in on others. Behind me on this wall, well, it's our church's core values. One of those core values is that we're committed to the uncommitted. That's the one that's front and center. It's kind of the focal point. And the idea of that really comes from the Great Commission. In just a moment, David Nelms, the founder of the Timothy Initiative, well, he sent me a video to encourage and to thank the church for our support. We're going to play that. I want you to watch that. I want you to see that. Today, what I want us to do is I want us to pause, and I want us to think about our missionaries. I want us to think through what their challenge, the challenges that they're being faced with. I want us to spend time, rather than the normal 10 minutes of trying to spiritually encourage you guys, I want you guys to spend these 10 minutes praying for our missionaries. David Nelms is near and dear, has become a good friend of mine. In fact, the Timothy Initiative is the first missions group we as a church began to financially support. We started supporting them about 6 months into the plant of our church. So for about 5 years now, we've been trying to financially support them, prayerfully support them. I think they're doing a great work. I think all of our missionaries are doing a great work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to watch this video. When the video's over, I'm going to come back, offer a few more words of encouragement in relation to praying for our missionaries.
Hello, Pastor Chad in Redemption Hill. I'm David Nelms. Some of you know me, some of you don't, but I'm one of your missionaries. I lead the Timothy Initiative, which is a disciple-making organization. We make disciples who in turn plant churches that plant churches. And we primarily work in your Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist parts of the world, over in Asia and also Africa. You guys have been great partners with us for years now. And I just want to say a word of encouragement to you. I know these are difficult, unprecedented days, but I want you to know God has used you guys. He's used you greatly. If with no one else, he certainly has with us. Every time I think of Tallahassee, you guys come to mind. And by the way, the next time I'm there, I'm coming to see you folks. But Pastor Chad, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your funding. Every $300 you guys have sent, we've been able to plant a church someplace where there was no church, where in some cases people had never even heard about Jesus Christ. I mean, it's hard for us to imagine that, but they don't even know who he is. I want to thank you guys for caring for the lost, caring for those who have never heard about the Lord. Some have been asking lately, how is the virus affecting the work overseas, missions work in general? Well, pretty much the whole world is shut down, just like it is here. The difference is, in many parts where we work, there's little to no infrastructure. For example, here we can still go to the grocery store. Many places where we work, there are no grocery stores. And the food supply lines have been damaged. And as a result, people are having a hard time finding food. One of our leaders told us recently that he thinks more people in their country will die of starvation caused by the virus than will actually die of the virus. So when it comes to praying, if you can remember those overseas, our brothers and sisters, and for that matter, people who don't yet know the Lord, Many of them are suffering like we are, but a whole lot more, and without the support system to aid them. So keep us in your prayers. Thank you for the privilege of being your partners. It really is a great honor to be on your team. Thank you, guys. God bless you.
Thank you, David, for the update. Now, for the next few moments, I'd like for us to be able to pray for our missionaries. At first, let's start with the Timothy Initiative. Let's start with David Nelms and the organization that he leads. We have been, like we said, have been given him for 5, almost 6 years. First missionary group that we've supported. Most of the money that we've sent them has been specifically used in Nepal. So while we want to pray for the whole organization, let's pray specifically also for Nepal, for that area, that God works within that Timothy Initiative group, that those pastors that we've helped financially support to raise up churches, that the gospel is being spread throughout that whole area. Next, let's pray for Greg and Beverly Wooten, who serve the Lord in Kenya. They have established a Bible college and where they're training pastors to become better pastors, to know God's word, to go out there and to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. Let's pray now that God gives them strength. God gives them encouragement in the midst of this. Let's pray now that God provides for them, that God provides the resources that they may need. Next, well, let's pray for their son and daughter-in-law, Isaac and Clea Wooten. The whole family there is serving. Isaac and Clea were here at our church not too terribly long ago. He's been here on a few occasions. He, in fact, when we started doing the devotionals, he was one of the missionaries that sent us a devotional. Let's pray right now that God continues to encourage that family. That whole family is serving the Lord. He started doing the devotionals there with his church there in Uganda. And I saw through some different little messages there that like his boys, I think, are helping them with the recording and doing that. Man, the whole family's involved. So let's pray that God strengthens them. Let's pray that God really encourages them. Let's pray that if there's a need that they might have, a resource that they're lacking, that God provides that for them. Isaac has done similar, like his parents, has like this Bible training that he does, a small group of men that he really pours into deeply for an extended period of time. Now let's just pray that group now that has gone out, that has their own churches, that is preaching the gospel. Let's just pray that God uses all of those churches in a great and mighty way. In fact, a couple of our Christmas projects, we've given resources to some of those men that have gone through and gone under Isaac's teaching. So I think of Pastor Jonathan, one of the first that we began to do, that we gave them resources to go and purchase land and help build a church. Man, I get messages from Pastor Isaac or from Pastor Jonathan maybe almost every other day. Let's just pray that God encourages them too. That Pastor Fred, that this last Christmas that we gave resources for them to finish their church, that God uses them. So, man, a great work. But let's pray for Isaac and Clea and their family. Next, let's pray for Miriam. Miriam's been to our church on several occasions, spent many Wednesday nights over the last 2-3 years. She serves the Lord in Ethiopia as a Bible translator. Let's pray. I don't know what her needs might be, but let's just pray for her. Let's pray that God encourages her, that God strengthens her, that God gives her what she needs, when she needs it, how she needs it. Next, let's pray for Patrick and Barbara Latillard. They are serving the Lord in Haiti. Patrick, that's his homeland. That's where he's from. They're one of those missionary couples that when we say they literally gave an arm and a leg for the gospel, they did. They shared that story with us about 2 years ago here on a Wednesday night. They're in Haiti, a place that's deeply suppressed economically. They've been facing all sorts of hardships for a number of years. This particular crisis now, when you compound the health care along with the economic ramifications and the deep spiritual needs, and let's pray that God encourages, God strengthens, that God provides for them, that God provides the financial resources and the other needs that they have. That God's able to use Patrick and Barbara in a great and mighty way, that the gospel flourishes and the kingdom is changed. Hey, next, let's pray for Eric and Christy Champion. They serve the Lord in Costa Rica. Now, Eric and Christy and I, we go back a long ways. I coached with Eric, taught with them some almost 20 years ago when I first moved here to Tallahassee. Man, God got a hold of their hearts. They surrendered everything. They left the United States and they moved to Costa Rica to serve Him. Man, they find themselves there now. Their parents, all here in the States. Their children are college age. They came over here to the States to go to school. So they're there serving the Lord in Costa Rica. God's using Eric and Christy in great ways. Eric's preaching, he's teaching, he's discipling. So let's pray now that God opens up more doors for them, that God softens up more hearts of people who are in need of Jesus, that God provides for them financially, however He may need, or whatever resources they may need. Let's pray for that. Let's pray for their family, even here in the States, being kind of separated from each other, that God just encourages all of them. Let's pray for Steve and Tina Singh, missionaries to London. They've been to our church on a few occasions as well. Last I spoke with Steve about 2 or so weeks ago, they were in Colorado. They were making plans and preparations, trying to get back to London, the area in which they serve the Lord. Let's pray that God provides, that God works out the details that they may need in order to get back to London. Let's pray that God provides whatever resources. They might not know what they need now. They might not know exactly what they're facing. Let's pray that God just in advance prepares everything they need. So as they arrive back in London, that they're there to be able to serve completely and serve the Lord. That God opens up more doors, that God opens up these soft hearts. Let's pray for Joshua and Bernice Barella. They're serving God in India. Joshua has come to church here a handful of times. They've begun an orphanage over in India, a school, and we financially support them as well. I mean, Joshua has a heart for that area. I mean, a difficult place to serve the Lord. Let's pray that God provides for them, that God protects them. They have young children, that God keeps them healthy. Let's pray that whatever financial needs that they may have, whatever struggles there might be with the school or the orphanage, that God just provides all those things. We have many missionaries, many things to pray for. The temptation right now in the midst of all this is to focus our attentions on ourselves, but today, let's stop. Let's pray for those partners, those who are partnering with us to achieve one of our core missions, core values, to being committed to the uncommitted, to going and sharing the gospel, of spreading the good news of hope to those who are in desperate need of it. Let's pray that the Great Commission during this time is achieved. We have a mission statement that we exist to see souls saved and lives changed. Let's pray that God does that. I hope that you join us this Wednesday night for our Bible study. Davey's going to have another great Bible study prepared for us. When we're done with that, I'm going to challenge us as a faith family, how we can individually, how we can act in the Great Commission during this time. Please join us. Please pray for these missionaries. I love you guys, I miss you guys, and I can't wait to see you.